Jamaicans in the diaspora with Jamaicans of like mind in Jamaica.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. So, we have come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us, upon demand, the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make the real promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force. The marvelous new militancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people, for many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. And they have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating "for whites only." We cannot be satisfied as long as a Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not unmindful that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come fresh from narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi. Go back to Alabama. Go back to South Carolina. Go back to Georgia. Go back to Louisiana. Go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with words of interposition and nullification, that one day right down in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is our faith. This is the faith that will go back to the South, will go back to the South with. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring." And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from the Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we'll be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last."
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. You can't see me meaning, you can't see me dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream. I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday this is going to be a better land.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. You can't see me meaning, you can't see me dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday this is going to be a better man. Maybe you can't see my meaning, you can't see my dream, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream. Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty stands out in my soul and my mind. Tears come to my eyes when I realize justice is blind. Oh, I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that some way for our children this will be a better land. Now maybe you can't see my meaning,
And you can't see my dream, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and learn to dream, dream, dream. Sing it again. Oh, my dream come true for me and for you. The dream, the impossible dream.
It's the 18th day of the first month in 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Here in Jamaica, the month of January is being observed as Earthquake Awareness Month and Soup Month. And this week is National Leadership Prayer Week in Jamaica. It's Lima Foundation Week in Peru, Maintenance Day in the USA, and Revolution Day in Tunisia. It's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States of America. Hoy es lunes, el 18 de enero 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
The words love and peace sound to our ears.
C'est lundi le 18 janvier 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
For our children, this will be a better land.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 18th of January, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never, ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
I still have a dream.
On this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the USA, we greet you well and thank you so much for making it Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, From the Goat Islands to Galena Point, this is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those of you tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you for logging on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. We acknowledge those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the USA and the UK. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. And if you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. We thank you if you are watching us on Facebook Live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear, but also see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account and you're not a fan of Facebook, well, you have another option. Once you have internet connection, open a browser, go to Google, wherever, whichever search engine is on your, whether Bing or Google or whichever search engine, and type YouTube. Just type YouTube, and the YouTube website will come up, and you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We started out by reciting the I Have a Dream speech by the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then we played Solomon Burke's I Have a Dream, which fits in seamlessly with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s monumental speech, I Have a Dream. We thank you once again, and we look forward to your full participation. It's a Monday afternoon, therefore coming up at 2:30 and running until 3:30. Land Solutions, stand by for that. Get ready, whatever questions you have in relation to property, buying land, selling land, leasing land, renting property, willing property, as in leaving property in your will for family members, etc., and all that comes with that. Land surveys, which are so important in making sure nobody is encroaching or otherwise breaching whatever covenants there are, etc., etc. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. Stand by for Land Solutions coming up in a moment. And a little later on, we hope you'll join us as we pay tribute to the late Reverend Father Easton Lee, Anglican priest, who left us at 10 o'clock this morning. The Reverend Father Easton Lee, Anglican priest, among other things, quite an accomplished author as well. In fact, we do have a copy of his book with us in studio, The Chinese in Jamaica, 150 Years. We look forward to properly paying tribute to the late Reverend Father Easton Lee, Anglican priest, later on this afternoon here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. In the meantime, condolences to his family colleagues, friends, and all well wishers, all who have ever met, and even if you have never met, the Reverend Father Easton Lee. Condolences.
I have a dream that someday.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Exercise. Go ahead. Work up a sweat and increase endorphins, the body's feel-good chemicals. This mental health tip was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Let the show begin. Happy show.
Soak up the real Jamaican folklore in our brand new podcast, Kin Teeth and Hot Bun. Renowned storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks brings life to the moments in true Jamaican style.
When you hear click, you cock your ears. And when you say crack, the story open.
Kin Teeth and Hot Bun, the Gleaner's brand new podcast series with storyteller Amina Blackwood Meeks. Available on SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and Deezer.
As we indicated earlier on, it's a Monday afternoon just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. This is the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. And the text line for Land Solutions today is 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. Land Solutions is on Facebook, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Email gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center in Halfway Tree, more specifically, corner of Hope Road and Winchester Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In keeping with COVID-19 protocols, they encourage you to call instead of turning up, and you'll be advised accordingly. Here are the numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. In a moment, your host on Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thanks, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. As Dervan just informed you, you may call to ask any question related to land ownership, buying land, selling land, probating your will, administering an estate, making the will. All of those things are the things that we want to talk to you about as we enter into 2021 and try to see if we can avoid some of the challenges of 2020. And one particular challenge is relates to land ownership, because we're just having too many problems in relation to land. I realize how difficult it is for persons to own land, but we really need to deal with it in a different way from how we are dealing with it. So any question you have, now is the time to try to get the information. and to get some advice on how to best navigate the challenges you have in relation to getting documentation for your land. Remember, the aim is for everybody to have a title for the piece of land you're living on. So even if you're on a big family land, you have your house on a little part of it, what we encourage you to do is to survey the little piece you have and let us assist you in getting a title. Sometimes that could be a challenge because you might look at the title and the title might say the land is not to be subdivided, or there are other conditions on the title. When a title says property is not to be subdivided, we have to apply to the court for an application to modify that covenant. And sometimes it's not so easy. Because, for example, if it's a big piece of land, you might have objection from the Ministry of Agriculture. That ministry might say the land is reserved for agricultural purposes and it's not to be cut up in lots less than 5 acres, etc. But if persons are already living there and you can show that the area has changed, it's no longer agricultural but residential, then we can always make a case in court for you to have the covenant, the condition on the title modified. Usually we modify to say the land shall not be subdivided save and except with the approval of the relevant municipal corporation. So, for example, in St. Catherine, we'd ask for the covenant to be modified to say the land shall not be subdivided save and except with the approval of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, formerly St. Catherine Parish Council. And when we get that, then you are allowed to cut up. But that's not common in a lot of the areas because a lot of rural areas, you don't have any condition on the title. Because when you first applied for a title for the first time and you didn't go through subdivision, you just surveyed and got your title, those titles will not carry any conditions, any covenants, so it's a little easier to deal with properties like those. So we encourage you to call us and let us see how we can get you into the position to have a title for your piece of land. The numbers to call 922-4112, 876-922-4112-5. And you can send me a text message at 876-387-3183 or even a WhatsApp message on that same number, 876-387-3183. Email gloria@landssolutionsja.com, gloria@landssolutionsja.com. And remember you also that we have offices in Kingston and in Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios on the Jamaica National Building, the heart of Ocho Rios. Shop 6, just go up the steps. And in Halfway Tree, Winchester Business Center, Shop 39. Both very easy places to find. Want to look at a text message. And remember the numbers to call me now, 922-411-225. I purchased a 2-bedroom house through the bank. In the initial stage of the processing of the application, I was asked to put someone's name on the title as my beneficiary. Can that person's name be removed from the title? That's an interesting and important question. Because a lot of times when persons buying property, especially persons living abroad, they are advised not to buy the property in their name alone. And I'm telling persons that that's advice that you must not always take. If you are the only person buying your property and you're not sure whose name to put on it, and you're not buying using a mortgage and the bank is not insisting, don't put anybody's name on your title. Even if it doesn't matter your age, you're buying property, you're the only person who's going to own it because you might want to will it to the children later on or the relatives. Don't put anybody's name on it right now. Don't let anybody tell you that if you die and you don't have anybody's name on it, the government is going to take it away. That's not true. That's rubbish. Because a lot of times you put names on it and those persons whose names you put on become nightmares to you. So I'm encouraging my listeners, buying property, you're going to be the sole owner, writing your name alone. Make a will and will it to everybody you want. Remember, you make a will today and you want to change it tomorrow, you can change it. You put somebody's name on a title, that's a little bit more challenging. So this person is saying, they bought the house, they were asked to put somebody's name on the title as the beneficiary. Can that person be removed? If the person agrees, you can easily remove the person. Of course, you have to pay the duties, the transfer tax of 2% of whatever fraction the person has. If the person does not agree, you're going to have to go to court. And you're going to have to prove to the court that that person did not have an interest in the property. That person did not contribute funds to the property. You only added that person as a trustee. And it's expensive to go to court to get that order to remove the person. And it's difficult as well sometimes to prove. And if you put that person on with you as a joint tenant and you die, that person is going to own the property alone. So these are some of the things that you need to consider. So Ask the person is willing to come off. If the person says yes, then you get a transfer from yourself and that person to yourself alone. If the person is unwilling to come off, then you get the order from the court.
We have a call for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Yes, how can I help?
My father made a will. I'm the only child, and he made me as an executor. But he gave two other persons piece of the land.
Yes.
Well, I went to parish council now. Parish council say I have to make a road. I don't have the money, and he never leave the money, so I'm going to sell my piece. How do to make the road? How do I go about it?
Well, that's the problem. If the parish council is saying you're going to need to do all of that, then you're going to have a challenge. You won't be able to make the road. It's a chicken and egg situation because if you sell your piece, how are you going to? Always the person who is buying it going to get title because you don't have the approval from the parish council. Well, let me ask you something. What parish is it?
St. James, Anchovy.
All right. The persons who your father left the pieces for, they live on their pieces?
No. The guy, the first one I hear that himself is already.
Okay. Any idea when he sold it?
No. But the lawyer didn't tell me not to business with them.
What about the other person?
She built a house on it.
Okay, excellent. All right. I'm going to ask you to take my number and call me after the program. I might have a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Just listen for my number.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. The number to call 922-411-224. 876-922-411-224. And that's there's one of the challenges. That's a very interesting question that she said that she posed. You know, how is she going to be able to sell her piece when the parish council is saying to her, in order for you, these two people who the father left property for them to get those pieces, you're going to have to put road in the land. We're not going to allow the subdivision. And that's something that we need to revisit as a country. Because what is happening is that we are trying to impose some restrictions on persons, expensive restrictions. Because, for example, we are saying to this lady, you need to put roads in this property before you can get title for these persons. So when the lady doesn't even have money to title her piece, so she wants to sell her piece in order to put in the road. And when she sells her piece, she's still not going to be able to give the person a title because the roads need to be in, unless the person is willing to pay for the road, and which is really not a solution. So a lot of the restrictions. Yes, Dervan?
Yes, sorry. Just letting you know we have another caller holding.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my lady.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
You're Brown here, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
My uncle died leaving some property without a title. We cannot find the title, miss.
Yes.
And some people bought some other land next door, and they try to claim that land is theirs, and I am the one who pays the taxes.
All right. So
I am the one who have the will.
All right. So your uncle was living at the property?
Yeah, he was living there.
Right up until his death. Get a surveyor to come in to assist you in locating the title. So get a surveyor to come in and survey. So since uncle died, who has been living on the property?
Well, it's some people. He had a friend who intended to stay there and pay those days a shilling a month.
Okay.
And that person died, and his children them was living there, so and them want to take it over.
Well, that's a different
And
story.
I am the one who have the taxes, papers, and all those things.
Sir, as I've said on this program, day in, day out, taxes paper can't help you. Paying the taxes
I know.
But how long have these children been on it, not paying rent? That's the question.
Well, what does that mean? What does that mean, no, miss? I have the valuation number and all that, so I wonder if I could go to the title office and get anything like.
Yes, you can go and get a copy of the title, but that's not your major problem. Your major problem is how long have these children been on the property, not paying you any rent, because they could claim through that.
We got to court about it already, you know, miss.
Okay, excellent. And what did the court say?
And I had the what do you call that now? Attorney. I don't know that big word.
And answer the question I asked. What did the court decide?
Well, to the power of attorney, I had it, and my aunt now, she was the one who responds for the land after my uncle died. She died in Canada 4 years now, and turned over everything to me.
I asked you one question.
So
you
we
don't
went to the court.
Mm-hmm.
So she died just when the case was about to decide. The judge said that we have to go do some more administration because the power of attorney to die. I didn't know that.
Right. Power of attorney, it's called, not attorney, but power of attorney, just like the lawyer, the attorney. Yes, the power of attorney dies with a person. So you need to go and get your aunt has children?
No.
Oh, she has a husband?
No, miss.
She has brothers and sisters still alive?
She was the only child for my granduncle.
All right.
That's why she turned everything to me.
But what did she do to turn it to you? Did she make a will?
Maybe after the break, Ms.
No, she didn't.
Thank you. Please hold for me. Please hold for me, sir. Please hold.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Pension order vouchers with payable dates in January 2021 may be encashed as of Thursday, January 7. All payments for the month of January may be collected at once at your nearest post office. Please note that pension order vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon at this time. Always Land Solutions. Attorney at law Gloria Brown is in the middle of a conversation with a caller. Back to you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Sir?
Yes, miss.
Yes, sir. My apologies about that. Did your grand aunt make a will?
No, she died. By the time to do that, she died in Canada.
The story of every Jamaican, eh? That's our excuse every day. From we reach 80, we need to make a will and start making excuses for our relatives. But the thing is, how is it that you said she's your grand aunt, but you're saying her father she was the only child?
Yes, she's the only child.
So who is she, your grand aunt? I'm not sure if I'm missing something. But it's because the thing is, is that if she has died and she's your grand aunt, I don't see how you're going to claim that property. I don't see how.
So what can I do then, miss?
How was her father related to you?
Her father is my father's uncle. But we always call her auntie.
Her father is your father's uncle?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not sure if you can claim into that estate. There's something I would have to check out. I'm going to ask you to call me in my office because I would have to see if you could claim through, if you could make a claim through through that kind of relationship, through your father's uncle, etc. So call me in office and I will check it for you. But
so can I get your office number, miss?
Okay, my office number. Use my cell phone number, which is 387.
I'll come in this. 387
3183.
3183.
Yes, sir. Please give me a call.
Yeah, that's
we're an encouraged person because it's a pity. If she had made a will, you'd be fine, but we have a challenge there. I'm glad you said the matter went to court because that prevents persons claiming. But I'm not sure if you can claim into that estate. I would have to check it for you.
Well, yes, I understand that, miss.
Okay, sir.
So I will call tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. You call me tomorrow. Yes, that's fine.
Okay, my lady. You have a nice day now.
Yeah, don't call me after the program. so I could give you a
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I understand.
No, man, I'm saying call me after the program.
After the program. Okay,
Yes,
miss.
please call me. So I give you a
Big up Dervan for me.
Okay, so I will.
Yes,
Take
man.
care.
Excellent, man.
Bye. Oh, the number to call 876-922-4112, 4113, 4114, and 4115. So 922-411-224. So we have some challenges there, which is why we encourage persons to make wills, and we need to stop you making excuses for our relatives. Persons are telling me that people are 90s, 80s, and they die suddenly and didn't get a chance to make a will. It's time we stop this thing. Which is why everybody knows is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. If they pass on know their relatives going to make excuses to say they never had a chance to make a will. The chance to make the will is today. Today, while the blood is running warm in your veins. Just like what we say, you need to get salvation when the blood is running warm in your veins. That's the same time you need to make the will. When the blood running warm in your veins, it will stop making excuses, because none of us has any promise that we're going to lie down on our bed and be sick for years and get the time. We see how the world is running. We see how COVID is. You're well today and tomorrow it cuts you off. So I'm begging my listeners, please do not make your relatives have to make excuses for you when you pass on to say you were sick, you died in accident, you died suddenly. Sort out your property, because we're just living a lot of nightmares. Okay, and there are a lot of persons out there who have their eyes on people's properties and trying to get it. And because we don't make the wills, we make it difficult for our relatives. The number is to call 922-4112, 4113, 4114. And the text line is 387-3183, 387-3183. And that same number is the WhatsApp number, 387-3183. Good day, miss. A piece of land with a house was built to my brother. He left for abroad. Persons have been living on the property. Need some information what to do. Now he wants to claim it. Thanks. You'd have to give me some more information in terms of time. I need to know how long these persons have been on. I need to know if he has done anything in relation to trying to claim it before. And this is an opportunity to talk to all of Dervan, many diaspora listeners. I beg of you to sort out the family land in Jamaica. Don't just leave it like that, because many of you in this COVID time, you are trying now to sort it out, and many of you might be too late. And it's not enough to say, I am abroad paying the taxes. Paying the taxes will not protect your land. You need to exercise control over it. The people who are there, even your relatives, you need to get them to pay something. Don't tell them to pay the taxes as part of their obligation, because you're just giving them more ammunition. Beg of you, do not just leave the heritage of your fathers, your forefathers, because many of them struggled to buy these properties. Many of them lived in very, very hard, difficult times in Jamaica, when it was not the norm for the ordinary man to own a piece of land. Many of them struggled to buy these properties. Don't just walk away from them. It's better for you to sort it out and sell it rather than to let it go to waste and to ruin it. I was looking at, I just wanted to tidy up the question that I had read earlier, the text message about the person who has the house had to put somebody's name on the title and to remove the name. So I'm saying if the person is on the title with you and the person agrees, you can get a lawyer to do a transfer to take the person's name off. If the person does not agree to come off, you have to go to court. And sometimes persons will say, but the person didn't pay anything. They don't even know the name is on the title. Well, regardless, if you put somebody's name on the title, I always say to my clients, you go to the road and you see somebody and you have never seen them before, and you just put the name on the title, they are a part owner with you. You can't do anything without them. So be careful who you put on your title. It's better to put nobody on and to make a will rather than to put somebody on and it becomes a nightmare. Some persons you might have put one child on and you want to put the other, and the one who is on is objecting. You can still add the others, but you can't trouble the share of that person. So, for example, you put a daughter on the title and both of you are joint tenants. You know what it is with joint tenants. When one joint tenant dies, the other one is going to own the property. And you might not want just that one alone to get it. You can still add the others to your share, but you couldn't touch the half of that child who is on already. If the child is not agreeing, you would have to go to court.
Another call for you, Miss Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I would like to know how you can go about getting a title. I was living at this property for 10 years and the owner of it sold me the land. But now I want to get a title for the
And you want the right thing. When did this person sell you the land?
in 2013, and we had the land. We got the land survey.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, I'm going to ask you to call me after the program, and I will send you a form to tell you what I would need from you. What parish is it?
St. Catherine, Jamaica.
All right, excellent. I can easily help you with that one. All right, you're going to call me after the program.
Yeah.
Call me after the program, and I'll tell you what you are to do.
The number, please.
387.
387.
3183.
3183.
Yes, when the program is over, call me. But keep listening because I'm going to tell you on the program what to do. But listen, but call me still.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. So this now is doing the right thing. The numbers to call 922-411-224. So what she needs to do, she has a survey diagram that's wonderful, and I'm sure she has a receipt to show that she bought the property in 2013. I'm going to need to look at the diagram, which is why I want her to call, because I want to see that there's a title for the property already. Because sometimes when you buy land, there's a title, the land is already titled, but you bought a little piece of what is in the title, etc. So I would need to look on the title to see if the title says the land is not to be cut up. But let us say the land doesn't have a title, or it has a title but it doesn't say it's not to be cut up. I'm going to need her to get two persons who have known the land for 30 years. And I don't want these persons to write anything. I just want the name, age, address, occupation of the two persons. Name, age, address, occupation of two persons who have known the land for 30 years. I need a copy of the tax paper because the taxes need to be paid up. Even if it's not paid up right now, I'm going to need the tax number. She'll have time to pay up. Even after the application is lodged, she can pay up the taxes. So even if she just bought a quarter acre and the land is 10 acres, the taxes are going to have to be paid up for the entire 10 acres before she can get a title. After she has got a title, then her piece she'll get to pay her own taxes. But until she gets a title, she won't be able to pay her own taxes. So I will have a receipt to show she bought the property. I have the survey diagram, I have the tax paper, and I have the two persons who have known the land for 30 years. I also want to know if the person who sold the land to her has any documentation to show that that person is the owner. Because sometimes persons sell land without having any evidence. They might say, it was my father's land and my father died. But that doesn't make you the owner of the land because your father died, unless you can show the father willed it to me and I probated the will. Even the will alone is not enough. But we can go around that for her. And the application is going to take over a year. We find things taking a little longer since COVID. So many of my clients who I promised I would get the title for them in a year, we find it's taking a little longer, a year and 6 months, etc. Things have slowed down significantly since COVID, because in some of these government agencies, sometimes when you contact them, they say this department is closed because somebody has tested positive and we have to close down the department. Or some of them will tell you persons don't come into work every day because we don't have the space for social distancing. So a lot of challenges causing us to be out of time with a lot of things. So those are the things I would want from you, ma'am, and then I prepare the documents for you, lodge your application. The cost of the title is going to depend on how big the land is, what's the value of it on the tax roll, as I said, which parish it is in. Those are things that we take into consideration before we can tell you the cost of the title. And you have a period of time to pay over time, because as we say, the application will take nearly a year or more, maybe 2 years. But you need to start now. And I'm very, very glad to hear that you realize the value of a title. Because next thing, you buy your property, you put up your house, and this person you bought it from dies, and then the children come to say they want back the land, which they really can't get, but they tie you up and cause a lot of problems. Because I hear children saying parents sold land too cheap before parents died, so they want back the land. Parents are free to sell the land. If the land is worth $1 million, they are free to sell the land for $1. That's their prerogative. You can't come back and say that they sold it too cheap, so I want it back. It doesn't work like that. And I really want people to stop these things, because it just causes a lot of problems, a lot of crime, a lot of anger, frustration, families warring against families over land which we cannot take anywhere with us. So we really, really need to stop many of these things that's happening, and try to see if as a people we can resolve a lot of our challenges in different ways, because this is we have a generation now that is willing to do a fight over land, and most of the time they are not the ones who bought it. We continue with this after the break. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magaba's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magaba Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Land Solutions with attorney at law Gloria Brown continues here during both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. Whatever the questions you have in relation to the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. The numbers to call 876-922-4112. 876-922-4113 and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. There's also an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In light of the COVID-19 protocols, you're encouraged to call the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company, and you'll be advised accordingly. The numbers to call, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Okay, as Dervan just told you, the numbers to call if you want to speak to me now, 876-922-4112-4, 922-4112-4. And the text line, or you can send me a WhatsApp message as well, 387-3183. 876-387-3183. A text message. Good day. If I'm administered on my grandfather's property, can I make a will while waiting for the administration to go through? Yes, you should. So do not wait to sort out the problems that you have with land. If land is yours already, you're entitled to a piece of it under your grandfather's estate. Make your will. Because some of these problems we have with the land will not be sorted out right away. So don't wait to sort out the problem before you make the will. Make the will and then sort out the problem. Or make the will while you are sorting out the problem. The text line, as I said before, 387-3183. 387-3183. As my daughter needs to get a TRN while living here in the UK, how can that be done? How will she get the TRN because she will not be coming to Jamaica? I would like to add her name to my title. Yes, so we, in our office, that's another thing that we specialize in doing, in assisting persons in getting TRN. So that is not a challenge. What we will do is that we will ask you to send us a copy of your ID, and we prepare the TRN form for you, as well as a letter of consent that we will send to you with the TRN form, and we'll email those to you and ask you to sign the TRN form, sign the letter of consent giving permission for us to get the TRN. In the letter of consent, you're going to sign before a notary, and you're also going to ask the notary to certify a copy of your photo ID, whether your driver's license or your passport. One thing that you need to make sure of, though, is that the signature that you're going to put on the TRN form and the consent document we are going to send you must be identical to the signature on the ID you're sending us. And then we just get the TRN for you and send it and send you the number. Because you can't do business in Jamaica if you don't have a TRN. So you want to add a child to your title, you need to have a TRN. And a lot of times the clients will complain to say, but why do I need a TRN? Why do I need a TRN? Because I don't intend to live in Jamaica. I'm not coming to Jamaica to live. And my child has never been to Jamaica. But it's just the rule. It's just the law. You know, and sometimes you just have to go with the flow, but you can't get it. You can't get the title without the TRN. My father had a piece of land, but I can't find the survey paper. How can I go about getting documents for it? It wasn't cut off from the previous owner's property. My father is now dead. In terms of the survey, if you know who surveyed the property, have an idea when it was surveyed, you could go into the survey department, 23.5 Charles Street. It's attached to the titles office. But the titles office address is on Hanover Street. The survey department's address is on Charles Street, but same corner of Charles and Hanover Street where you find that part of the complex. You could go in and they will do a search for you, because all the surveys that are done, okay, the copies of them are kept in the survey department. So if you know the surveyor and when it was done, you could go and get a copy. If you don't have any documentation, all is not lost. I'm going to ask you to give me a call after the program and I'll see what else, because sometimes you feel you don't have documentation, but there's something there. Wonder what about the property taxes? Was that paying any? That could help as well to see if we could find any documentation. But I'll help you to identify type of documentation, because sometimes there is documentation, but we're just not fully aware. Numbers to call: 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4112-4, because I'm broadcasting from 5. 876-922-411-224, and the text line is 387-3183, 876-387-3183, or you can use that as a WhatsApp line as well, 387-3183. Or you can send an email to gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. And remember, we have offices in Ocho Rios and in Kingston. So you can call us in our office, 908-1950 or 908-3518. A lady built a house on captured land. The government came in and surveyed the land to get title. If I should buy the house she's selling on it, what should I make sure of? So I suspect it's one of these things that we call Operation Pride, where persons were squatting on land and the government came in and trying to sort out the titles. The challenge is that most of the persons I know on these properties, nothing is really happening. I know the last time Housing Agency of Jamaica had taken it over. I think some of them might be the Ministry of Housing. But I don't really see much happening for a lot of those persons in getting titles. So when you buy this house, be aware that you might not see a title right now. You might not get anything to show that you are the owner. And secondly, do not just give this person your money. Go into the government agency that surveyed the property, that has the documentation, and let this person sign off in that. So suppose, for example, it's the Ministry of Housing that's dealing with it. Let the person go into that agency with you and sign the documentation to say that if the title should ever be issued, then it will go in your name, because you don't want to go and pay them the money and then the government comes, gives out the title, and the title is given to the person you bought from. So get that done in the agency, find out what is happening in terms of getting the title if anything is happening before you spend your money, because unless it's a board house that you can lift up afterwards, you might have a challenge. So that's something to look out for. So the same thing that we see where persons have leased land. You live on land that is leased, and you want to sell the house that you have on the leased land. Note that the person who is the lessor, the person who leased the land to you, can give notice, and then you have bought this property, and then you might find you have to leave. So if it's a house, if it's not one of those houses you can put up on a truck and drive away with, you might find that is a challenge. So be very, very careful how you just decide to buy a house and not buying the land, because the person does not have the right to sell the land. My mother bought a piece of land from her mother, and her brother Shai wrote me a letter that says she has administered on the land and I must remove the house. I don't know what is wrong with us, you know. All right, your mother bought a piece of land from her father, and I suspect her father died, and maybe the children have all died, including your mother. And now your first cousin is saying that she has administered on the property, which means that when she administered on the property, she took over her grandfather's estate, which is your grandfather's estate as well. So she's in charge of everything grandfather died leaving. But what you need to tell her is that your mother bought that piece, so it's not a part of grandfather's estate. It might be in grandfather's title, but your mother owns it or owned it. So what I want you to do is to go and administer your mother's estate, survey the piece of land your mother bought and get a title for it, so your cousin knows that she is not a part of the estate. And if there's a title for the property, I want to encourage you to put a caveat on the title, block the title, so your cousin can do nothing about it right now, do nothing with the title without your knowing. But she can't come and give you notice if your mother had that property for more than 12 years, was living there. So we need to, as blood relatives, we need to realize, that we need to stop a lot of what we are doing and recognize that we need to be just in what we are doing. We hear people talk about all the time, we want justice, and a lot of times those of us who want justice not meeting out any justice as well, We want justice, but we're not giving any justice. So your first cousin, let her know your mother bought this property, and hope you can find the receipt that mom got. If you can't find the receipt and mom was there long ago, mom lived there, mom was paying electricity, right, was paying light bill and so on, write to JPS, because that will help you to say how long mom has had her light contract or water commission, or the telephone company to support what that mom was there all this time, or maybe even your birth certificate or the grandchildren's birth certificate, or the grandchildren, to show that you were born there, you were living there with mom. But let her know that your mother bought this property, is not a part of the estate. She cannot come and claim on this particular piece, because even though she's in charge of everything as that grandfather died, this is not a part of what grandfather died and left. Numbers to call 876-922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. The text line is 387-3183, 387-3183, or you can send an email to gloria@landsolutionsja.com. That's Land Solutions with an S. Or you can contact us in office 908-1950 or 908-3518. And remember, you can also give me a call, 387-3183, after the program if you want. Maybe you have a matter and you don't want to air it. You can give me a call afterwards or send me a WhatsApp message, 387-3183. So, but right now, to talk to me on radio, call 922-411224. My father and mother are dead, and the lady this is exactly what I just spoke about. And the lady that is responsible for their estate wants us to take back all the land that my father had sold. The buyers have built their houses on the land already. These are the things that make the Spirit of God don't thrive with men. So don't listen to the lady who is in charge of the estate. Your father sold the land to these people already. They have their houses on it. She can't tell you to go and take back the land. On what basis would you take it back? The land was sold. Even if your father sold it for 1 penny, even if he gave it to them as a gift, they are there, they have built their houses. You can't go and claim back their properties from them. So tell the lady who is in charge, who I suspect is the executor of your father's estate, that you cannot do that and you will not do that. What you need to do is look at what your father has not sold and sort out what is not sold. For those who bought already, the lady, who is telling you to go and do that, who is the executor. Her responsibility is to go and get these people title. And because she said she might be executor for your father's estate, these people could come and sue her for their titles. So tell her to be very, very careful. You know how she looks at things like that. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com, select the 6-month subscription plan, and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One Spot Media connect you.
Farmers,
with home.
come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the minister every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today, Monday, the 18th of January 2021. Here's your opportunity to get in those questions before time runs out. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, anything you're not sure about, any clarification you need on land titles, property in general, land surveys, willing property, etc. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. That's the text and WhatsApp line in one for Land Solutions. The email address, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website, landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center at the corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew, with an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead instead of turning up. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Here once again is attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. As Dervan just reminded you to talk to me right now, the numbers to call are 922-411-224. 876-922-411-224, and to send me a text message or WhatsApp message, 387-3183. A text message: I bought a house several years ago. I put my son's name on it when he was 14 years. Now he has a wife. I'd like to get his name from my title. What can I do? You need to ask your son to tell your son that you're going to take his name from the title. And when the son agrees, what you're going to send to the lawyer is a copy of the title, the property tax receipt, name, age, address, and occupation for you and your son. And then you're going to get your lawyer will prepare a transferring from you and your son to you alone. Or if maybe you want to add somebody else, this is a chance to do that. And you're going to have to pay transfer tax. If the son says he's not going to allow you to take his name off, you're going to have to take the matter to court. It will help that the child was 14 to show that the child might not have contributed, but it also becomes a bit of a challenge as well, because you're going to have to prove to the court that the monies you used to buy the property, the monies did not belong to the child, that you weren't holding it on trust for the child. So Administrator General will, well, because the child is an adult now, Administrator General might not have to come in, or will not come in, but you're going to have to prove to the court why you bought the property with the son's name. So when you're putting on anybody's name on a title now, for example, when I started at the program, I started about with the text message from the other person who had put on somebody because they were told not to buy the property in their name alone. Or you're putting on a son. Get the lawyer to do a declaration of trust to say the property is in your name and the other person's name, your name and your son's name, because the son is just a trustee or the son doesn't have an interest. Because if the declaration of trust is done and you stamp it for $500, when you want to take the name off now, you have that as evidence, plus you don't have to get the permission from your son. So ask the son first, is he willing to come off? And then if he's willing to come off, then what you can do is give us a call and we'll assist you. But be very careful. You might love this child now, and it's my first child, my only child, and then you put the child on the title, and then you have a few more, and then you want to put them on, and it becomes a challenge. Which is why I really prefer the will, the thing we call a will. Write it down that you can change it today. You can change it anytime you want. And talking about wills, a caller had mentioned earlier that his grand aunt had given him a power of attorney. A power of attorney's permission to act for me. But the permission is only legitimate and lasting and legal while I'm alive. So when a person gives somebody a power of attorney and the person who gave the power of attorney dies, the power of attorney is dead. What is going to kick in, what is going to take effect now is the will for that person. So when you give a power of attorney, back it up with a will. So when the power of attorney dies, the will take effect now, and will, because nothing that you say in the power of attorney is going to be applicable when you die. So it's important to remember that. It's very, very important to remember that the power of attorney will not last after death. It dies with the person who gave the power. So it's important for us to know that and to put provision in place so that the will can take effect after we have died. The numbers to call 922-4112-25, 922-4112-25, and the text line is 387-3183, 387-3183, or you can send a WhatsApp message on that number as well, or you can send an email, gloriae1@yahoo.com. Another text message. My child's father died when she was 17. He left a will, but he did not leave anything for her. What can I do? He was a well-known businessman. What you can do is go and sit with your lawyer, because under the Inheritance Act, even when a person makes a will under the Inheritance Act, you can take the matter to court to say that my child's father died, did not make provision for her, she's in university, he died leaving a big estate, such and such. And the court has the power to vary what is in the will to make provision for a child or anybody who was dependent. Okay, and I really hope that his name was on the child's birth certificate, because that helps a lot. And sometimes we might not put on the father's names. Well, I think we don't have much of a choice these days, but it's important that the father's name is on the birth certificate. So persons who have your children, even if the children are adults, or adults listen to me and your father's name not on your birth certificate, you need to make provision to make, especially if the father is alive now, get the father's name on. We call it a status because it comes under the Status of Children's Act. Get the father's name on, because sometimes you might find that there are certain benefits that you should get from the estate of your father, but because your name is not, the father's name is not on the title, it becomes a bit of a nightmare. That's something I want to advise my listeners about and to remind them. It's important to put the father's name on the birth certificate. And even if you're an adult, even if your father has died, it can still be put on. But you'd have to find older relatives who knew your father and can swear that he was supporting you. So if the father, while the father is alive, is the best time to get the name on the title. My father has a house but no title for it. He also has 3 children. He now has dementia, is now senile and unable to make a will. His wife is alive but also senile. Where do we go from here? Well, you have 2 choices. You could just leave it as it is and wait until when father passes on, then it will go to the 3 children if there's no will. It will go to the wife and the children, and when she passes on, I'm not sure if she's your mother, because that could be a little complex because your father doesn't have the capacity now, so he can't make a will. Anything you want to do in relation to your father, you'd have to go to court and get a court order to be appointed guardian for the father with the power to deal with the estate. You'd have to get the court to give you that authority. If your father should die now, half of the property will go to his wife and the other half to the children. So when the children die, when the wife dies, her half will go to her children. So if she's not your mother, you would not get her half. If she dies before that, then that's different. When that dies, then the 2 of you would get the property. So you could just leave it and say, they might pass on before the children, and then the children could benefit. But that's another thing why I'm encouraging persons to make wills, because sometimes you have the capacity today and you wake up tomorrow, you don't have it. I'm in the process of purchasing property without a title. However, I have done a survey and got the diagram. What should I do? Okay, you have made the first step. So you want to buy the property without a title. Important to get a lawyer and let the person who is selling also get a lawyer. And the person who is selling now needs to show how it is that this person has come to own the property. Maybe the person has a receipt to show that they bought it. Maybe they have an old will to show how they got it. But whatever the person has, let that person give you the document that they have. Don't just buy it from the person, get a receipt and walk away, because you're going to have to prove to the titles office when you're trying to get a title that the person who sold it to you had the right to sell. The person had documentation. Maybe they bought it and have something. Maybe they have a will that was willed to them and they probated it. Maybe they have been living there for a long time and they have evidence of that. Because usually when my clients come in to me and say they are buying unregistered land, I tell them to let the person who is selling it to them start the application. Because when you start the application for title, then you will know within a month or 2 if the application is going to be successful. If the application is approved, then I will say to my client, you can start the process. But if they can't get a title, the one who is selling, how is it that you, the one buying, going to get? Because a lot of us, we know that the problem is that the property is a problem. So we're trying to sell the problem. It's like, there's a monkey go to market and buy trouble. Some people trying to sell trouble. Okay, so some people at market selling trouble and some people foolish enough to go and buy it. A lot of people know they can't get title. They know that the family claiming the land, so they're trying to pass it on to somebody else and walk away with the money. So make sure that you are able to get a title. You might see the piece of land and love it, but tell the person who is selling to you. Start the title application. You'll know within a month or 2. I have a survey diagram already. So the title application can be in the title's office in a week. And within 2-3 weeks, you'll know if you're going to succeed in getting a title, and then you can start the process. But don't start a process for something that you know you're going to have a challenge. Don't try to sell something to somebody you know you have not been able to get the title. And you say, because I'm not able to get it, I can't bother with this trouble, let me give it to somebody. So be careful. That's the word we are saying to you, be careful. If a property has 3 other portions in the middle of a larger piece, can a person get a copy of the title of those estates from the title's office by showing the big title without a court order? So you're saying that there's a piece of property and it has a title, but there are 2 other titles sitting in the middle of that piece of property, and you want to know if you can get a copy of those titles. Yes, you don't need a court order. Remember that title documents are public documents. A title is a public document. You can go into the title's office and see anybody's title. If you don't know the number, just pay $1,000 and they'll do a search and give you a copy of the title. So just go in with this big title you have and show them the 2 pieces in the middle and ask them they could just to give you copies of those 2 titles, because you need that in order to know where your boundaries are, etc. You don't have to give any excuse. Just go in and say, I need a title for 10 Black Street. And they'll search for it and give you a copy. As long as you have the $1,000 to pay for it, you can get it. Public document. So I'm encouraging my listeners to please do not be forgetful hearers of the word, as one of my favorite persons, Deacon Claudius Hall in Steigerville, Baptist Church will say, don't be forgetful hearers of the word. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. I beg of you. When you come into the office and you come with problem because somebody has paid the taxes what you were paying all the year, or somebody has served notice on you, when we have to work quickly, it is more expensive. Deal with the land while nobody is giving you any trouble. Deal with it while you can survey it and nobody going to object. Deal with it now, I beg of you. I want to thank Adrian Reed. I want to thank Dervan and Power 106 and all my many listeners who continue to listen and to support the program. And we look forward to sharing again with you next week on Land Solutions. Have a good day. I'm Gloria Brown.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm. Join us in a series of discussions on the care and protection of our children. We also invite children to call in and voice their concerns. Kids Connect is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. That's a discussion program on the care and protection of our children. Kids Connect during both sides of the story at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I have a dream that someday this will be a better land. You can't see the meaning, you can't see the dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream, dream, dream.
I have a dream. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Coming up in just under an hour's time, we reflect on the life and work of the late, great Reverend Father Easton Lee, and go through his long list of accolades and the many roles he played, literally and figuratively. He hosted Children of the Dragon on Power 106 FM for many years, and before that, I believe the program would have been on JBC Radio, and I'm not sure where else, but for sure, Power 106 FM for the last many years. And we're looking forward to speaking with one of Easton Lee's children, his son Everard, coming up at 4:30 this afternoon. In the meantime, We welcome those of you who have been tuned in and watching and listening on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and elsewhere. Beverly in Toronto, Canada. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Dr. Rose Marie Adamson Lewis in Coconut Creek, Florida. Hello to Audrey Smith in Southampton in the UK. She says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. Happy Monday to all. Dervan, I am pleased to say that I have taken my first vaccine for COVID-19. Can't wait to receive my second. Urging everyone to have theirs when available. It's better to be safe than sorry. Stay safe, everyone, and take care. From Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. Elder Vincent Mattox, God's blessings to you too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Diana Taylor, popularly known as Lady D, of CAC Radio on WOKB 1680 AM, originating in Orlando, Florida, broadcasting to the world. Happy MLK Day to you too, Diana Taylor. She says, happy Monday, Sir Dervan. To all your American listeners, we say happy MLK Day. And if you missed it, MLK stands for Martin Luther King. This is the day we celebrate the life and work of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Paul Ivey, Professor Paul Ivey, good afternoon to you. We know your humility doesn't allow you to pick up the phone and call to say, I'm available on this day or that day. But we are yet to review your 2 books, at least 2 the last time we checked. Ready when you're ready, Professor Paul Ivey. Chaitanya Fulcher, very well done, she says, in reference to our opening this afternoon when we recited the I Have a Dream speech by the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and followed it up with Solomon Burke's I Have a Dream. She goes on to say, even though some Americans have chosen to go after the dictates and bad examples of a one-term president, choose to go through our democracy, who chose to throw our democracy out the window, we continue to stand tall. We continue to stand tall with Dr. King on the principles that he spoke of so eloquently. Let freedom ring, says Chaitanya Fulcher. Karen Wright says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. First time live, but I was looking for someone much older, sir. Have a blessed day. Well, we hope we didn't shock you too much, Karen Wright. We get that all the time. Chaitanya Fulcher says, my condolences to the family of the Reverend Easton Lee, who passed at 10 this morning. My own father, Thomas Fulcher, who passed just over the holidays, was laid to rest at a park camp at 10 a.m. today. Condolences to you and your family, Chaitanya Fulcher. We had no idea. Audrey Smith in Southampton, England, conveys condolences to the family of the Reverend Easton Lee as well. The Reverend Father Easton Lee. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle says, Dervan, just curious, what will be done with the spot formerly allocated to Alan Rickards? Good question, Robledo Black Pearl Michelle. That's a management decision. Do you have a suggestion in that regard? Donna Chinloy Chang, hello to you. Herman Bowie Bailey, good afternoon. Brittany Moore, hello to you. And Donna Chinloy Chang says, rest in peace and glory, Uncle Easton. There's the connection. Donna Chinloy Chang. And also Suzette Chinloy is online, watching as well, as more messages pour in. For those of you who would have listened at some time or another to Children of the Dragon on a Sunday evening here on Power 106 FM, you would have heard the usually cheerful and animated sound of Reverend Father Easton Lee. We will share more on his life and work at 4:30 this afternoon. In the meantime, we continue with more of your messages here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We see a call coming through from Mrs. Barker. I wonder if Mrs. Barker wants to go on air. No, well, we're on air now, Mrs. Barker, but go ahead. Oh, no problem. All right. All right. Thank you. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's clear some WhatsApp and text messages. Joan says, good day, Dervan. I see the Trigger Boys have started the new year off with a bang. They're on a killing spree. Government, please send in the army and go get the guns. No outside force is at our borders. They are within. Do something. Pleads Joan. Joan, the situation is this. Too many of our communities have found it necessary to arm themselves in order to protect themselves from rival communities. And apparently there's no shortage of weaponry. The guns are still coming in, notwithstanding the interceptions here and there. And so a lot of these communities have therein those who are armed to the teeth and will shoot at the drop of a hat. So we have that. We have the inability of so many of us as Jamaicans, or the incapacity or the unwillingness to resolve our issues peacefully. We are very quick to reach for the gun, whether we're reaching for our gun, legal or illegal, or we're borrowing somebody's gun. And then in the whole mix, guns get lost or stolen or misplaced, and people are killed as a result of that. And there are those who are expected not to say a word, as they say on the street, not say a word. And that simply means see and blind, hear and deaf, as we say in Jamaica. And if it is suspected that the information leak might have come from this yard, at this number, at that gate, or wherever, then action is taken. It has long been a problem of crisis proportions. The problem is we have had stops and starts in this country in effectively managing safety and security. And the stops and starts have done us more harm than good. The kind of sustainable approach that is necessary to drive down the crime numbers in Jamaica, especially murders, is yet to unfold in Jamaica. And there are those of us who have managed to, whether legitimately or illegitimately, end up in other countries in the world, especially the United States. And sadly, there are some of our family members who believe that the best thing they can do is to send us guns and ammunition. Some of our family members, just a handful really. And they help to perpetuate the problem. There are those who are from certain communities in Jamaica, and although, whether by fair or foul means, they're no longer in Jamaica, they still want to, according to them, control communities here in Jamaica, which means turning off and turning on the acts of criminality. It is a deep-seated, multi-dimensional, multifaceted problem that requires all hands on deck in a concerted, committed way. Can we do it?
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and Converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Dear Pastor, with Reverend Dr. Aaron Damas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, here on Power 106 FM.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more, right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Join Jason Downer, Dawit Jeffrey, and Sekou Hunter every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. live and exclusively on Power 106 FM for Magava's Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Do you have a son? Are you the guardian for boys? Do you teach or work with boys? What are some of the challenges you face? Are you searching for answers? Are you concerned about the state of our nation boys and males in general? Raising boys, teaching boys, preparing boys. Magava Raising Boys and the Journey to Manhood. Join us.
Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty stands out in my soul and my mind. Tears come to my eyes when I realize justice is blind. Oh, I have a dream that someday we'll all walk hand in hand. I have a dream that someday for our children this will be a better land. Now maybe you can't see my meaning and you can't see my dreaming, but I'm sure someday you'll understand.
It can all be better. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Good afternoon to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, Jennifer Stewart in Kencott. Hello to you too. Herman Hyatt says, good evening. Good afternoon, Herman Hyatt. And to my people of Jamaica, she says, God bless you all. Blessings to you too, Herman Hyatt. Rose McIntosh says, good evening, Mr. Malcolm, coming from London. Indeed, it's evening time in the UK. Good evening, UK time. Good afternoon, Jamaica time. And she says, and to all in Jamaica and the diaspora, I will continue to listen, says Rose McIntosh. Ras Ayuda says, blessings, Jamaica, from UK lockdown. Amad me. Ras Ayuda, take it easy. Don't get too worked up about it. It is what it is. Remember, as I like to share on my journal, the cover of my journal, the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. In fact, the very first day of my renewed exercise program, having to work out in a mosque, I remember posting a picture with these same words: God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I commend those words to you, Ras Ayuda. Blessings to you and all the other Jamaicans in the UK in these trying times. Elvis White, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we thank you for spreading the word as far as YouTube is concerned. Remember, in order for us to be as dynamic with Facebook Live, with YouTube, as we are with Facebook Live, which means being able to broadcast from a smartphone wherever in the world, the only way we can do that with YouTube is if we have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. Now, we do have among the 4 Facebook pages, we have 4, 5, 20,000 followers. Mind you, some duplication across the board, about 20,000. And all we're asking for is 1,000 of that 20,000 to hit the subscribe tab on YouTube. Just click on subscribe and like the page so that the subscription can get to, the number of subscribers can get to the minimum of 1,000. We're far from that. So we need your help in that regard to share the YouTube channel, the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel, to like the channel, to subscribe to the channel. There's no charge, no cost. You don't have to give your name and nothing like that. Just click subscribe and keep clicking. I don't think you can subscribe more than once unless from a different platform, but you get the picture. We're counting on you in that regard. Ras Ayuda says, give thanks, one love. One love to you too, Ras Ayuda. Thank you very much for your message. Let's clear some WhatsApp messages now. 876-365-3346. Same as the text line. And Ricardo from Glengoff, St. Catherine, is practicing his French, telling us that he's studying French. That's very good. Très bien, Ricardo. Très bien. And Lloyd says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon, Jamaica. Love to one and all. Mr. Dervan, see on Saturday morning when I say you should get on Telegram, because so many people are getting on Telegram now. It's because they may want to call or text you on it. It's not because they are afraid of the social communication. Sure, not me. There are no way they can get away from it. My cell phone number that I'm on, I have it 24/7. I beg your pardon, 27 years now. And I always tell people that as long as they have a phone, it's no way they can hide from the system. Maybe they can hide from friends and family, but sure, not from the system. And people in Jamaica, I always hear them say the reason why they have a banger phone, it's because nobody can track them. I always tell them they are lying to themselves. As long as they're using that phone, all information goes to the phone tower. And that's what the government been using to find people with cell phones that do crimes. And that's way before smartphones came about. So people, please don't fool yourselves. Love and respect always, Mr. Dervan. Thank you, Lloyd. All the best. Angelia Christian in London has shared with us a video. Looks like the IT suite, the Information Technology Suite for Mount Pleasant Primary School has arrived. Sounds like we need to talk about that, Angel. Well done. Well done. And another message. Afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Since Thursday to last night, January 17, ending in Almond Town, more than 20 Jamaicans murdered from St. James, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Anne, St. Catherine. What do you think is causing such rise in murders, Mr. Malcolm? Because if we continue on this trend, we will top more than 1,000 murders again. Is something in the water we're drinking or in the air? No, sadly, for those of us who live in the archives, this is not new. It's not new, sadly. It's been like this in Jamaica for a very long time. And it will continue to be like this in Jamaica for a very long time, unless or until the decent, law-abiding citizens of this country determine that it must end. And until we get to that point, we will always be seeing multiple murders in Jamaica. Sad to say, but experience teaches wisdom. And we comb through the archives of the newspapers every single day and go back in time and see where we were this time last year and the year before and the year before. And this is what keeps coming up. So it's over to us as Jamaicans to play our part, no matter how small we think it is. But if we can save one life, if we can bring to justice one individual who is culpable, we would have made a world of difference. Over to each and every one of us as Jamaicans, especially those of us who are law-abiding citizens, because those who are not, surely wouldn't want things to change. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The Chinese Jamaican who died did play Chinese music on Power 106 on Sunday evening. I really enjoyed the Chinese music he used to play on Sunday from Mrs. Barbara Bao. Mr. Malcolm, whenever he plays the Chinese music, it reminds me when I was living in China 4 years ago. From Barbara Bao. Xie, Barbara Bao. Thank you for your message. Yes, the Jamaican of whom you speak is the late Reverend Father Easton Lee. You'll hear more about his life and work at 4:30 this afternoon. In the meantime, let's continue with more messages. This one says, Mr. Malcolm, any country where an individual in another can casually ship guns and ammunition to an individual in that country, and even if this shipment is discovered at the wharf, no one is held responsible. The problem of gunmanship, crime, and murder will always be a feature of that country. Jamaica is one such country. The authorities of Jamaica are either the most incompetent people anywhere on earth, or they are working hand in hand with the shippers and importers of these guns and ammunition. We have no doubt whoever sent this message, that we have more than our fair share of men and women of integrity at every level of this society who are playing their part one way or another. But if we have perhaps not an equal number, but a more assertive number of people who are doing otherwise, then it will always be taking one step forward and 5 the other way. That's a fact of life at this time. Only the people of Jamaica can change that. H. Morgan says, Mr. Malcolm, you ask that we subscribe to your YouTube channel. You state that we don't need to include your name. No, I didn't say that. You would have to put in my name. How could I have said that? But when I try to subscribe, it's asking for your email address, among other things. So as I see it, you will have to include your... One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? By using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
Be stronger. Jamaica, listen up. Let me tell you this, we a go better now. Everything a go crisp. When everybody combine, we a go find. No more problems, leave them behind.
Zaga zaga down, remember this liquor, but we tell our beat tell the crisis. So make we look out for one another. Tell every sister and every
KFC and Jamaica, stronger together.
Sure, someday you'll understand. It can all be better if we get it together and dream.
Oh, how sweet the words love and peace sound to our ears. Only one thing wrong, my friends. Too many say these words, not enough are sincere. Oh, the words of freedom, liberty stands out in my soul and my mind. Tears come to my eyes.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:02 que le retire en français, les 4 de 现在 TDN 4 DN Leung R Fen. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's see who else is messaging us. Let's complete reading the message we started, reading from H. Morgan. Well, I don't know H. Morgan. You're the first person I'm hearing saying that something is asking for your email address. I haven't heard anybody else saying that, so I don't know. When I want to watch anybody on YouTube, I just go to YouTube and they're there. I put in their name, the name of the person or whatever I want to watch, and it's there. I don't need to put in any email or anything. So I don't know if there's anybody out there who knows what H. Morgan is talking about. Please tell us. But we haven't found that problem. We haven't had that problem. But thank you for your message nonetheless. Let's see. Let's clear the other messages here. This one. Right. So H. Morgan says, first it asks you to sign in. And when you click on sign in, that's where it's asking for your details, not your name, but the subscriber name. Yeah, well, I'll have to check that later. But as I've said, when I want to watch a video on YouTube, I don't have to put in any information. I just Google it, or either I Google it, or I go to the YouTube website, and in the YouTube search box, I search for whatever I want or to watch. So yeah. This one says, hi teacher, good afternoon. What become of the vaccine is helping? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. Let's see if we can rephrase this. What has become of the vaccine are you asking, is it helping anybody? That's not exactly what we're seeing, but we're trying to decipher what you're trying to communicate. Help us, please. And let's see who else. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and your listeners. Mr. Malcolm, I think we're facing a bigger problem in Jamaica than the coronavirus. A lot more people have been killed since the start of the year by the gun than those killed by the virus. Even those who are asked to stay at home to avoid catching the coronavirus are in danger of being killed at home. The government alone cannot manage this crime situation. All hands need to be on deck. It cannot continue like this. May God help us. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. Thank you for your message, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. But I guarantee you, as sad as it is, we've been here before, and we've been here for a long time. There is really nothing new. There really is nothing new, because we haven't done the things that need to be done to start the process of transformation in any significant way. We are at this place and will continue to be at this place for as long as Jamaicans are comfortable at this place. When enough Jamaicans become uncomfortable at this place, the hope is that they will do what is necessary to move to another place. That is the hope. Thank you very much for your messages. Keep them coming as we go now to our WhatsApp line, same as our text line, but we're getting a straight call on the 876-365-3346 number, and it's Raskava. Greetings, Raskava.
Yes, sir. Greetings to you and all the listeners near and wide. I heard it on BBC News, plus I get a post which I've also forwarded to you. We had 23 elderly people in Norway died after receiving the vaccine. And Norway is giving out a warning, whereas they are not saying that no one should be taking the vaccine. However, elderly people and people with underlying illnesses should be careful. Did you read it or heard of it?
I am aware of it, yes.
Do you have a comment on it?
It's quite tragic. But not unusual. because there are certain provisions and expectations that indeed some people might be negatively impacted by the vaccine, especially those with certain conditions. The very people who the vaccine, who the developers of the vaccine intend to help.
Protect, hit it or destroy. That wouldn't be your word, but just fill in the blanks. So Jamaica, our government, our Ministry of Health, our ministers are saying that they will be targeting the elderly and health workers first. Having heard how vulnerable elderly people are to the vaccine, I've not heard they come and change that statement or no.
And it's not going to change because it is a reality, just as the reality of, if you check the demographics of the more than 300 people who have died from the coronavirus without any vaccine, if you check that number, you will see that most of them are senior citizens.
Yeah.
And I think part of it has to do with a bit of a shock to the system, that the already compromised immune system apparently needs to get a bit of a shock in order to strengthen it. It sounds strange, but it's a non-scientific way of putting it. And some people respond favorable to that shock, and others don't.
Because your body, is accustomed to perform in a particular way, And when you introduce anything new, your body have to rapidly change its format to accommodate that new introduction. And it goes like, for instance, water. If you drink water, that is much, much colder than your body temperature. Your body have to rapidly adjust its normality to accommodate that new temperature what you introduce, And it shocks the body mildly sometimes not so mild. And it's coming like bad news. When you get bad news, some people say you have to sit down first. That is the impact it gets on your nervous system, your brain. When you get that bad news, it gets your heart out of sync. And it have to send a message rapidly more blood to the brain to accommodate this new information. That's why people say their heart race and their heart skip a beat. Is the brain needing more blood to function or to deal with that new information where you get where shock it? So I am saying that this vaccine is still new. And I think more testing should have been done before they start to roll it out. What our government should be doing is to educate people of how to build their immune system, that it have a greater resistance to diseases, viruses, and bacteria that will from time to time enter the body. Because your body were made to heal itself, However, if you're not supplying the body with what material it needs to build that healing mechanism, it now go heal. And our food should be our medicine, and our medicine should be our food. But there's nothing about what people are to be eating and how they are to be functioning daily, exercising and drinking so much water and alkaline in the body rather than having acidic situation that it is in. People will not heal themselves as the body was designed to do. So the government and the Ministry of Health need to come out with that. The Ministry of Health have a pyramid, which they say that's what people need to use. But nothing dead does not prolong life. And on that pyramid, you don't have live food all the way through. You have so much byproduct that they have to murder some animal before you can get it and all of that. Which is where the Creator gives us all the things that we need for food without having to kill the animal them. It said, thou shalt not kill. Some people say, a man it attack. However, it goes on to again to say, let everything in capital that have breath praise the Lord. So when you hear the canary in the morning and the nightingale chirping some notes when no man can go find them the high note there, they are giving praise. Only that you don't overstand the language that they are using. So we need to build our immune system.
One moment, please. We need to take a break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Where are you? Are you trapped in your mind counting numbers? Are you a small business trying to leave your footprint in the world? I can help to take your business anywhere. Are you jogging or are you racing to close the deal of the century? There's a good chance we can do great things together. Are you home, pacing the kitchen, confused about what to eat and how you'll pay your staff? I'm way ahead of you. I'll give you the money when you need it. I'm the voice in your ear. My voice? I'm a bank that will meet you where you are. A bank that cares. Exim Bank cares. Exim cares about your business. Exim cares about you.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and One Spot Media has a special gift for you and your family. Enjoy a 30% discount on our 6-month subscription plan and receive the gift of Jamaica's most authentic television and radio channels. Yup, you heard us correctly. Enjoy a 30% discount when you purchase a 6-month subscription plan from One Spot Media. Simply log into onespotmedia.com. Select the 6-month subscription plan and click subscribe. Offer ends January 31, so don't hesitate. Subscribe now and let One Spot Media connect you.
Farmers,
with home.
come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
You'll understand. We can all.
Thanks a lot, que ahora es en español. Son las 4:17 qu'elle arrêté en français, les 4:17. 现在地点了4点17分. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And yes, we know these are trying times, turbulent times, not normal times. Well, that just means more time for us to be more creative and recognize that it's all a part of our schooling, young people. All that's happening or not happening around you, for you, about you, to you, it's all a part of your schooling. But as I don't know why of late I've been forgetting the name of the author who said it, that he never allowed his schooling to interfere with his education. He never allowed his schooling to interfere with his education. Let's continue with Raskava on the text line. Yes, Raskava.
Yeah,
You're
another
saying
one
about the
also,
immune system. Build up the immune system.
that it is government not educating the people of how to heal themselves. It is said in the Bible, the herb is the healing of the nation. Yeah? Laughter is also said to be the best medicine, which your food should be the one that heals you, and what you eat should be your food, and that's what heals you. As I was talking about the pyramid that they shows, the food groups and how much you ought to be eating and all of that. That is a wrong advice they're giving to the nation.
How so?
Because the Creator in Genesis 1:29, God never put people on earth and not tell them what to eat, you know. And it never said, it said that every tree where he let a seed, he let a fruit, and that fruit he let a seed. That should be your meat. It also tell the animals, the green herbs, grass of the field should be their meat. And when people say them are going to eat meat, animals don't have meat, animals have flesh. So does human beings. And when they murder those animals, it becomes dead flesh. And that dead flesh, all you're doing is to using your belly as a cemetery or a dumping ground to dump that flesh. And when Carl lick down the said animal that you wouldn't take up and eat at that time, when it's there on the road, you have a cark in nose when you're passing because the flesh is rotting. So when you dump it in your body, regardless how much suppression of stench you use to cover down that stench, when it goes in your body, it rots same way and smells same way like when you pass it by the road and a crack your nose and run. And people should not have to be running down their food to catch your food to eat it. People should not have to take a pause on your food because your food is pregnant or your food is sick and have to go to the doctor or your food should go to the toilet. That shouldn't be your food. Your food shouldn't get pregnant. So until the people start to go back to the days when eat what you eat, grow and grow what you eat, and leave the animals or pick from the tree and pluck from the earth and allow the animals to give birth, we will always have some diseases taking over people's body that their body cannot heal itself against them. So, Mr. Government, educate the youth them from in the school, pass educate your membership, and the government need to educate the nation of how to stay healthy. It costs the country less. One more now as I move on. I was asking the question, what does Jamaica earn? How does Jamaica benefit from mining bauxite? 2 days ago, I got a country, man, where my ancestors used to, the great grandmothers and family. I want big hole there. Nobody knows where they carry them and do what they did with their bodies. And it is now revealed that Jamaica, it's costing Jamaica more to produce the bauxite than what Jamaica earned from it. So why are we still doing that? Leave the earth that the Creator put it, man, until the soil. We are dig up hole for hole in there. We know how we pick the drown in that hole there already, Mr. Malcolm.
Yeah, your cry is a perennial one again, Raskava. There have always been advocates for the preservation of our natural environment and resources. And the state has continued to facilitate mining in the name of economic development.
That's not the main reason. They just want to boast that they're having foreign investment. And who benefit from foreign investors and their investment? The country that they came from. So the Chinese didn't come here to build Jamaica. They come here to build their economy in China. So don't depend on things because the more foreign investors you have, the more your economy will grow. Nothing don't go like that. Give the local investors.
It all depends on the nature of the agreement between the government in question and the investors. That is what ultimately determines who gets value for money, who benefits more, or whether it's an equal share of the spoils.
Dara, that's what I was going to say something about, not in so much word. I was going to say that if the Jamaican the same 5 years and over tax break as you would have given other foreign investors, that they will be encouraged to invest here and let the money circulate in this Jamaica circle.
Well,
rather than
the tax break issue, we were on it for quite a few years. We recall it came to us when we were visiting New York and watching cable TV in New York, and there was an ad from on the TV encouraging investors to invest in New York, and they would get a tax break and for up to 5 years, I believe. And I came back to Jamaica and I was saying, hey, shouldn't we be doing this? This makes sense. But nobody apparently listened. So,
well, I same thing Jamaica copy, you know. And when when that 5 and 10 year time up, they just change the name of the.
No, but I didn't mean for that to be whatever the New York ad meant. My thinking was for those in Jamaica, whether they're in Jamaica or from outside Jamaica. I was including everybody to the point that if there are people right here at home who want to invest, look at it this way, as I said back then and over the years, that this is investment that wasn't there before. These are people who are going to be employed in the development of the business, plus people who are going to be employed once the development is over in terms of construction, if it's a plant or whatever it is. And that the 5 year tax break would allow this business room to grow, to maybe go through a rocky period and then come back up strong, that kind of thing. And then from there on, after 5 years, the government can go get to can apply the requisite taxes. But you want to give the new business some breathing space. That was our thinking.
Yeah, but at the end of that tax period, they change name and get one of them family member and make it look like it's a new investor because the other one bankrupt.
Well, if we were prudent, if we are prudent and frugal in entering in these contractual arrangements, then there would be a deterrent to that kind of action or consequences, legal or otherwise, to that kind of action. So you can't, my thing is always, you can't necessarily blame the investors, but blame whoever signed the agreement with the investors for not preserving the rights, the laws, the regulations of the country in which the investment is being made. Because the investors are looking after their own interests. And therefore, the state has to look after the interest of its people and, by extension, the country.
And no loophole there, man, because you can't tell a man to say, well, if him say in business now make the amount of money that he planned for it to make, and he will give it up. And a new one take it over. That new one will also want that 5 year break.
No, we're saying that with the necessary restraints in the agreement and the whatever the policy is, would guard against that.
If you write that agreement that he can send him bankrupt and give somebody else buy out the business?
This country has more lawyers than John Reed Boat, as my late mother would say. Let them figure it out.
All right, sir. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Elvis White says, I just liked and subscribed. Thank you very much, Elvis White, for liking and subscribing to the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. H. Morgan in Birmingham. Maybe Elvis on YouTube can help you, since it seems you're having a bit of a challenge in that regard. Kathleen Edwards says, blessings, Sir Dervan. I'm sure she meant Dervan, Dervan. Wishing you a happy week ahead. Onward, continue giving the world your great educational program. Station, wonderful quote. Text it to me, please. Which quote was that again? Wind Charmful says, we need an offshore prison for gun crimes, preferably on one of the larger keys, equipped with state-of-the-art security devices. Give the Chinese the contract to build and to manage, says Wind Charmful. Thank you for your message, Wind Charmful, on YouTube. I see Cuban in Georgia calling through at this time. We might have to call you back, or you call us back, Cuban in Georgia, because the long announced interview to reflect on the life and work of the late Reverend Father Easton Lee is coming up after this break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Are you an exporter, a prospective exporter, or have an interest in learning more about exporting? Then this virtual public forum is for you. Join the Jamaica Customs Agency and other industry players for a riveting and informative discussion on all things export under the theme Spotlight on Export, Embracing Opportunities, Confronting Vulnerabilities. Wednesday, January 20, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Visit www.jacustoms.gov.jm to register and participate, and click Connect and Converse with Customs. This is an online forum on export you can't afford to miss. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Morning, officer. What you stop with a please, sir?
Not going to be a good morning for you. I'm going to lock you up.
Why, officer?
First of all, you don't have no papers for the bike. Second, you have no safety gear for you, nor your pillion. This bike not even fit to be on the road.
Why, officer?
No light, no rear view mirror, higher wear down to the treading. You're a real lawbreaker. You know that? Young man, put the bike in the van, you're coming with me.
Officer. Road safety begins with you.
A message from the Road Safety Unit, Ministry of Transport and the Mines.
How do you want to start 2021? Do you want to start a business, create wealth, or build your brand? Then you must attend the Jamaica Stock Exchange's Investments and Capital Market Conference, January 26 through 28, to learn how to do these and more. Visit jamstockx.com to register or call JSC at 876-967-3271. Sponsored by Jeffries, NCB Capital Markets, TVJ, Pegasus Jamaica Observer, Oppenheimer, TNT Unit Trust Corporation, Cygnus, Phosphorus, CW Business, Beretta Investments, and Dollar Financial.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Jesus come today for a poor, poor man like me. Salvation come my way, my soul set free. Jesus come for all, and we must hear his call. Open up your heart today and let it be. No matter if you're thief, or if you're dread, or if you have a crown on your head, no matter if you have no heart at all, Jesus bring love for one and all. Sing it, children. I for Jesus, you for Jesus, all for Jesus, fall for Jesus. Come to Jesus, Jesus come for one, he come for all. Jesus come for I. See manger where he lie. See cross where he must die. For a wretch like me. For God so loved the world, man, woman, boy, and girl. He gave his son for you, his son for me. No matter if you're thief, or if you're dread, or if you have a crown on your head. No matter if you have no heart at all, Jesus bring love for one and all. Sing it, children.
We could not have thought of a better all-embracing recording than this one by Ernie Smith, because indeed the late Reverend Father Easton Lee was for everybody and showed a great level of respect for everybody's culture and choices, etc. Notwithstanding his work in the as an Anglican priest. Sadly, he left us this morning at 10 o'clock, and we once again convey our condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, well-wishers at home and abroad. We're grateful to one of his sons, Everard Lee, who joins us now to help us to reflect on the life and work of the late Easton Lee, our former colleague here at Power 106 FM, because he did host Children of the Dragon on Power 106 FM for many, many years. And even before Power 106 came into being, I believe this program would have been taking place. But perhaps Everard Lee can help us to fill in the blanks. Afternoon to you. Condolences to you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dervan. Thank you for having me to talk about that.
Yes. Well, let's talk about Dad. He was born in the rural town of Waitabit in the parish of Trelawney, correct?
Yes, that's correct. But before you go there, it's so ironic that you played an Ernest Smith song.
Tell me.
Because I can remember in the days in Harborview when Ernest Smith was a struggling musician and just started out.
Yes.
Dad used to help him. As a matter of fact, my mom used to sew the costume for his group I think it called the Vagabonds at that time. But
talk about divine intervention. Goodness.
I'm telling you, yes, that's so ironic. But you're right. He was born in Waitabit in Trelawney.
Yes.
Of humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
He and moved to Silo afterwards, and then worked in his father's shop. That's how the book Behind the Counter came about. The stories of his childhood.
Yes.
He then probably moved to Kingston. Went into Silo Primary School up in the country, and then when he moved to Kingston, he went to Windsor High School with the great Ranger Jones, Mrs. Ranger Jones, on South Camp Road.
Oh.
So he had an education, and she was let me tell you, I met her, and she's a very, very disciplinarian. Mm-hmm. So you can understand what was going on in his life.
The discipline did well for him, didn't it? Because he was involved in so many disciplines. When you consider his work, radio and television broadcaster, communications and public relations consultant, playwright, actor, director, author, and of course, let's not forget, an Anglican priest. How were you able to share your father as a family with everybody else in all these different capacities without feeling left out or neglected?
No, well, we understood as children. We understood that he was the breadwinner. Mom was always around, and she always filled in the gaps where he wasn't when he wasn't there. But we didn't. We knew what he did as work, okay, but we didn't look at him as a great man. We looked at him as dad, as a family man, the man who instilled in me family values in all of us, his children. family values. Family was key to him. He always told people that I was a better father than he was. And the thing about it is that I always tell him I had a great teacher. You know, and mom too is was grew up in a family similar to his, of humble beginnings. And it is just that we might have not had much material stuff, but we had each other, and that is a great value that he taught us.
Yes. And up some more on your siblings. You where do you fall in the line?
I'm baby. I'm the baby.
The wash
I'm
belly.
The spoiled one. Yes, I'm the spoiled one.
Yes.
But I have an older brother.
Yes.
Well, everybody's older than I am. Older brother and two sisters.
Mm-hmm. And
and I like to think that my three children, that I have the most of the grandchildren and the most of the great grandchildren. So I like to think that I'm favored.
You definitely
But that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have fond memories of that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that in terms of what kind of dad was he? Give us a sense of how he related to you all as children.
Well, hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, well, no, he, like I said, he instilled in us the family value.
Yes.
Not only to our family, but extended family, his sisters, and their children, our cousins. He was there for us at times when we need him, obviously. But when you're a breadwinner, it's hard sometimes to share yourself with work and with family. But he accomplished it. I don't have any, and I'm sure I speak for my siblings that we don't have any regrets as children, that he's a good father. That goes without saying. Mom would have to tell you whether he's a good husband or not. But I'm sure he
Yes.
he from what we have seen.
No, man, I know you said that lovingly, but tell us now, in terms of between mom and dad, invariably in most families, if not all families, one is seen as the disciplinarian and the other the negotiator or the soft one, so to speak.
That the soft one with the mom, disciplinarian with the dad, because he never mess around. You have to buckle down and do your schoolwork, and because you always tell me that you need to get an education. That is what it is all about. And mom was always begging for us. But but believe me, she has her time too.
Mm-hmm.
She has her time too. I remember flinging the shoes after us and stuff. That well, and not without corporal punishment either.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all for bringing you in line.
Yes.
If you don't mind me saying, probably that's what we need towards some of our children these days.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a debate that continues to rage on.
Yeah. But he left a great mark on all of us. Lots of good memories. Lots of hard times. I mean, every family has their struggles.
Yes.
But mostly good memories. Mostly good memories.
And a lot of material, a lot of literature. What's the plan? Because certainly, usually, when someone of the stature of the late Reverend Father Easton Lee passes, invariably people want to get a hold of a book or some other publication, something to learn more about him or to associate with his work.
I think the books he has written with poems on Behind the Counter, Children of the Dragon, I think they're all on Amazon. And one could look and see, if if they can acquire one there from there.
Yeah.
I think they're all there.
And there's his collection of poems and stories. Kiss Me Granny. You know that
Yes,
one?
that one too. That one too is there.
Yes. Right. So,
But
mhm.
he was always looking towards his Chinese culture
Yes.
and his Jamaican culture. He went to China and mom went to China on one occasion to look for his ancestral home and to visit some of the relatives that are still there.
Yes.
You know, but he always kept us in touch with that side of the family too, although distant. But he made sure that we knew of that side of the family, because being in Jamaica and China being so far, you know, he made sure that although we knew the Jamaican side, to know the Chinese side as well. And mom's family too is from China, so we had it from both sides.
And this is both sides of the story. One moment, we'll come back on the other side of this break to wrap our conversation with Everett Lee, son of the late Reverend Father Easton Lee, formerly of Power 106 FM, of course, host of Children of the Dragon.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First San in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First San team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First San in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First San Jamaica Limited, the first on the land. COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Listen to Drying Tears on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 10 p.m. Drying Tears. Get ready to dry your tears. Brought to you by the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. That's Drying Tears, Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Just as it was time past, so let it be. No matter if you're thief, or if you're dread, or if you have a crown on your head, no matter if you have no heart at all, Jesus bring love for one and all. Sing it, children. I for Jesus, you for Jesus, all for Jesus, fall for Jesus. Come to Jesus, Jesus come for one, he come for all. Sing it, children.
Fitting tribute in song, Ernie Smith, All for Jesus, as we pay tribute to the late Reverend Father Easton Lee, Anglican priest, broadcaster for radio and television, public relations consultant, playwright, actor, director, author, and just a good man, a public servant. He's described as passionately believing that we need to educate our young people about their heritage and history, and fervently believed that it was the job of all of us to tell the truth, to restore and to pass on the knowledge of our ancestors, instilling in them a sense of pride and dignity. One of his sons, Everett Lee, has been on with us, reflecting on the life and work of his late father. Thank you for staying with us, Everett Lee.
You're welcome, everyone.
So in terms of based on your recollections, can you can you identify that significant seminal moment in his life, as far as you can remember or recall, something or someone or some experience or accolade that gave him a great sense of pride and at the same time humility?
Well, he was always involved in culture. With the NDTC, Jamaica Folk Singers, having worked with the Social Development Commission. I think the greatest thing for him in his former years was that he could get to go to the different rural areas and meet different people to see how they lived, because he was coming from the same situation. He had a sense of longing to go to those places, to more or less identify with them.
Yes.
Okay, that's when he was working at Social Development Commission. I remember also he was very, very into the whole folklore with Louise Bennett, and he was very close to Louise Bennett actually. When and Mrs. Manley, Mrs. Edna Manley, with the art. As a matter of fact, every one of his siblings has a piece of Edna Manley's art hanging up in their living room and all over their house. So he was very fond of her. But having a moment of I would say just the fact that he could work with people, you know, and being able to help them in any way he could.
What I mean, maybe early days yet, but what would you think, based on how your knowledge and experience of your late father, what do you think would be a fitting tribute, or would he find such a tribute problematic?
Yes, he would. He would. He never liked, although he was in the limelight, he didn't take too much to it.
Yes. He wasn't in it for the limelight itself.
No, no, not at all. There are lots of times when, you know, I know the one he treasured was the CD that he got.
Commander of the Order of Distinction.
Yeah, he treasured that. But no, he wasn't somebody that pushed to the limelight too much. You know, he was. I for one believe that he was a very, very good man, and I'm glad that he's my dad. I know I speak for the rest of my siblings that I'm glad that he was that he passed through our lives. And as a matter of fact, the only thing I'm sorry about is that his last two grandsons, which are my grandchildren, his great grandsons, which are my two grandchildren, he's not going to get to know them. Well, he knows them, but they would not know him.
Yes.
Pretty much like I didn't know his father. He died before I was born. So, you know, that's my only regret here right now.
Yeah. And finally, as we wrap this moment of reflection, the from henceforth, when the name Easton Lee comes up, what would you want people to know about him? Yes, you have shared with us as much as you can already, but some key points that you would want people to know about your father, or to answer the question, who was Easton Lee?
Everybody knows him as the man who was a cultural man and dabbled in the arts and stuff. But as a son, I would like everybody to know that he made his mark on us as kids, in terms of instilling in us family values, which, you know, we instill in our children. As a matter of fact, I will tell you this. I'm the one that lives with him the longest. I don't mind telling you. Even when he went to Brownstone to look after the church retreat, I was at our house, well, his house in John Blair, and I know that I would like everybody to know that he was a man of family values, family first,
Yes.
right? And that to me is what I would like everybody to know.
Yeah. And that is what we need right now more than ever. A family-centered society, especially here in Jamaica. The family is too fractured. Not unique to Jamaica, but clearly we have a lot of work to do in that regard.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we'd like to thank you for sharing your reflections on the life and work of your late father, Reverend Father Easton Lee. We thank you for loaning him to us as part of the team here at Power 106 FM, and on behalf of all the other
You're welcome.
Organizations, institutions, individuals he supported. Thank you so much. Again, condolences to you and the other members of the family, his friends, colleagues, etc. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Dervan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me on, and to everybody who has sent good wishes and prayers and all that. I thank them very much on behalf of the family, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All the best.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Take care. You're welcome. Everard Lee, son of the late Reverend Father Easton Lee, Anglican priest, radio and television broadcaster, former member of the team here at Power 106 FM, host of the program Children of the Dragon that aired on a Sunday evening after 6 o'clock. He was a communications and public relations consultant, playwright, actor, director, author, and quite a few publications. Kiss Me Granny would be one of them in terms of his collection of poems, stories. Behind the shop, the shop counter, the Chinese in Jamaica, he had a hand in that as well. And his work is legendary. And we join Jamaicans at home and abroad in conveying condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors of the late Easton Lee, Reverend Father Easton Lee. A lot of messages coming in. Sylviana Johnson, Fayweller, good afternoon. Steve in Toronto, Canada, wanting us to say hi to Miss Emma Wellington of Pembroke Hall. Chuck Ray says, I didn't know Easton became a pastor. I guess all Jamaicans become religious as they age. And he's having a loving laugh right now, Chuck Ray. Errol in New Jersey says, good day, Dervan and the listening world. Morgan is signing up to YouTube. That's why. All right. Thank you for your message. Chuck Ray messaging us as well. Thank you for subscribing. Steve in Toronto, Canada. Chaitanya Falcher says, as it relates to crime and violence in Jamaica, I believe that it will take some good guys with guns among the citizens in all communities across the island to help rid the nation of the crime and violence that so terribly plagues the country. Jennifer Brooks will be going to your other platforms as soon as possible, says Jennifer Brooks. Jacqueline Simmons says, good afternoon, my condolences. Thank you all so much. Thanks to Easton Lee's niece, Donna Chinloy Chang, for her work behind the scenes in this moment, this time of bereavement as well. Thank you, Donna Chinloy Chang. And indeed, thank you to our faithful listeners at home and abroad for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Let it be. No matter if you're thief, or if you're dread, or if you have a crown on your head. No matter if you have no heart at all. Jesus bring love for one and all. Sing it, children. I for Jesus, you for Jesus, all for Jesus, fall for Jesus. Come to Jesus, Jesus come for one, He come for all. Sing it, children. I for Jesus, you for Jesus, all for Jesus, fall for Jesus. Come to Jesus, Jesus come for one, He come for all. Sing it, children. I for Jesus, you for Jesus, all for Jesus, fall for Jesus.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents